We're looking at the USAutoBox. It's a whole house surge suppressor with automatic energy saving, EMF reducing, and electrical noise filtration. It has several patents, as you can see, including international patents. The USAutoBox is currently turned off, but it is connected to the shop panel and wired into this 2-pole 20 amp breaker. Okay. As you can see, the loads right here, the shop is currently pulling, zoom in here, 9.3 amps. And the USAutoBox, of course, is turned off, and this meter is connected to the USAutoBox power to show that it has no amps being drawn right now. Let's look at the surge suppression portion of the USAutoBox. The surge suppression portion is accomplished by MOVs. They go from line 1 to neutral, line 1 to ground, line 2 to neutral, and line 2 to ground. They also go from neutral to ground. As you can see, the electrical noise filtration circuitry, which is right here, this removes all those unhealthy, unwanted electrical noises. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. As we can see, there's a 9.3 amps coming in, being drawn by the power from the panel, going to the power company, and the USAutoBox is turned off, and there's nothing there. So we're going to go ahead and turn this breaker on. And as you can see, the USAutoBox turns on. This is the power supply. This is the current transformer to make sure it's in the right direction. And this is the transient voltage surge suppression, line 1, and also on line 2. Okay, let's go back over here. As you can see, the power, there's 9 amps, or from 9 amps down to 4.5 amps. And also the is actually recycling 7.1 amps. Okay, so now what we want to show is that when the USAutoBox is, there's no inductive loads that are needed, the USAutoBox will go into standby mode. So right now we just turned off the inductive loads, and as we can see, the USAutoBox is only drawing 0.2 amps. Okay, that's because it's in standby, and of course the inductive loads are gone, so the amperage does drop. But the USAutoBox, as you can see right now, is still running, and that is the 0.2 amps that are there. Okay, so now what we're going to see is when we turn the USAutoBox back on, we're going to see that the load's back on. We're going to see that the USAutoBox will pretty much automatically kick in and start recycling the power. So as you can see, the loads turn back on. The USAutoBox is recycling 7.1 amps, and to the power company, there's only 4.5 amps being drawn. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to come up here right here and turn this breaker off, and we're going to see what happens to the amperage. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off, and as you can see, the power company amperage jumps to 9.3 amps. The USAutoBox is off, as you can see, and that's how it works.